this gentleman and I measure how long we've seen each other in Thanksgivings, and that's how you know your family. I've got about like 27 cousins. I mean, it's crazy. On my mom's side, just a few, and this happens to be one of them. I love every single one of them, but this guy cracks my top 5 list, as he knows. Tyler Provenzano. He is the front man. He is the lead guitarist. I know he plays a bunch of other instruments that we're going to get into. He's just a musical guy. And he has been, for as long as I know, a music guy. He's gotten into music that sort of opened my eyes to other sorts of genres. You know, like there's more than just Tom Petty. There's more than just classic rock. And of course now for me, there's more than just country. And he has not only opened my eyes to it, but he has experimented with it. He's doing it actively, all while, by the way, getting a law degree. All while, by the way, you know, and we all have something, but, you know, everybody's getting through adversity. And I think his story about getting through adversity is really, really inspiring, really cool. But of course, we're going to, you know, this whole thing's about music. We want to talk about the music. I love the music. I've been listening for a few days now. Anytime he would come, Thanksgivings ago, we'd always listen to something. So without further ado, because I'm rambling, but I think, and you guys know me, okay? I mess this up every time. But we're going to attempt to add Tyler Provenzano, frontman for Oceans in Heaven, right now.
What's up? I didn't realize
there he is.
I didn't realize
you.
Close. Okay, I gotta bag it up some.
Who, me or you?
No, the proportions, because I felt like I was like, you know, when you talk to your mom on FaceTime or something and just like under the nose.
It's under the nose. It's a lot of chin. It's a lot. Never good.
Close.
But you and I figured it out. We the Italian bloods treated us well, man. We look okay here. We know the angles. We know the lighting. You know. My friend, first off, how are you? How is life? What? Give me real quick. Give me a synopsis. How the past few months been shaking out for you, man?
Yeah. It's been weird, right? This pandemic's been weird. Didn't see this one coming. I already worked remote in my job, so it wasn't like a huge change. Mm-hmm. Planning to move to Austin though, and then I ended up staying home, which was kind of a blessing. I wanted to see, you know, Austin is probably the best place for indie rock music, or, you know, debatably one of the top.
That's interesting.
And so I wanted to see if I could swim, you know, but pandemic happened, and, you know, I'm adjusting. Everybody's adjusting. I don't know if I have any profound thoughts on it. It's weird, you know.
I find, are you back at mom's?
No, I got a place.
Nice. I find the sort of, I was doing this, I was planning on doing this, things looked like I was going to be going here, and then boom. I mean, that pandemic rolled through like a bulldozer, man. I mean, it's incredible. I want to touch on something you just said. I would not have thought Austin. Is that a major, is it mostly indie rock, or is it kind of a big musical sort of city going on right now?
Yeah, there's like, I guess 2 or 3 hubs for indie rock, and Austin, I think, is one of them. And it's like, you know, everyone's moving there. Rogan moving. Seems like it's kind of the next hub. I went and visited it with Travis, who's my videographer, does all my music videos, and we loved it. But, you know, it's just like, it would be kind of weird to move there and then know nobody and then you know what I mean? So I think like
weird to like go to a place and then you can't do anything once you get there. You don't know nobody, right? So let's get into it, my friend. So I find first off, you've got some great music out. I mean, I was running through your link tree in your bio, heading over to YouTube, and I mean, honestly, I think your music has all the feels. If you're looking to tap into something, if there's a deep emotion that you might be feeling, or even if you just want to kind of clear the mind, like, you've got some good stuff out there. Still Weeping BB is fantastic.
Thanks.
It's beautiful.
Trying to vibe. You're trying to vibe. Yeah, that one, I kind of tend to make slower music, and then that one, I'm talking with my buddy Tommy, who is in the video and plays me a lot. He's in another band called Azure. And he's always trying, you know, push the tempo, because most of the songs I write are kind of slower and later. But then whenever I push the tempo, I kind of bring more people in, because I think a lot of people think of music in terms of beats per minute, right? That's like you go to the club, everything's 120, boom, 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 like this. And I kind of make slower in the 80 to 90. But when you push it up, people just, I think a lot of people think of music as fast, slow, like fast equals happy, slow equals sad.
100%.
Yeah.
And Still Weeping BB to me has like, and I'm not even, Tyler, I might be outside of my element here, but I personally believe that has some, is there like I'm going to probably mess up your fan base here. Is there like almost like a new age Kygo-ish? Tell me that there's some influence there from some of the newer elements. Is there?
You know what, that song, dude, you remember the song, the 90s song, Steal My Sunshine?
Yes, I do actually.
Basically trying to make that song.
Oh, I love it. Okay. I can see where you're going then.
When it got like warmer, spring to summer, somebody put it on in the car and I was with them, and you know, like when you revisit a song and it hits hard as fuck. I don't know, can we cuss? Can we cuss?
This platform made for just kind of launching fuck bombs. So you're good, my friend. You're in good company.
It hit hard, right? It like, and I was like, man, this is such a vibe right now.
Yes.
You know, and so I just tried to rip off that song. And
classic, like as soon as like the temperature hits like maybe 59 or something. What is there, and even just watching that music video, like I think you just that felt like one of those ones where you're not trying to be wildly abstract. You're not trying to do something like there's a deeper thing. It's about how you feel. And so I love how like there's like the field elements of it. You're wearing like crazy shorts and socks. Your dude is playing the drums like a banshee in that thing. I love everything about it.
On a tree too.
On a tree, I think it was a tree trunk, no?
Yeah.
That was fantastic. But so for those of, and again, for anybody who's just, we've got a bunch of people joining in. I can't tell you how much we appreciate you being on. This man is Tyler Provenzano. Is our band still calling somebody a front man? Is that still a thing?
Like, I guess I'm the front man in that it's a solo project. You know what I mean?
What about your drummer?
No, it's like a rotating cast, right?
I like that.
So my buddy Hunter Taylor, who's in Like the River, he records me. He plays on everything.
Wow.
Can't play bass very well, so he plays basically every bass part.
Okay.
My buddy Moore, who's in Azure Wolf, plays the drums a lot. If the song is more like rock, if it's more dancey, I guess, I program the drums. And then
cool.
Travis Yos, and he's my manager is what we call him, but he's never gotten me a show or did shit.
Sounds like a really effective manager, man.
Good music, great.
You got to have a guy in your corner.
Yeah, well, it's a lot to do. I want to offload as much of it as possible. I don't really like doing the marketing and shit. It always feels authentic, and you kind of got to box yourself as like, I'm trying to be this guy, you know, like I'm the dark, mysterious guy or whatever. Like when you're advertising,
yes,
cheesiness to it, where you have to box yourself, right? And I'm kind of, my whole thing is all my songs are so different. I don't want to be boxed, so I don't really know what's to go in, and that's why like I'm not big on the advertising, which is, I think a lot of musicians feel that way. But I do want a manager to kind of, so I can offload that from my brain.
Sure, and again, yeah, you want to be working in the part of your music that actually interests you, which to me would be creating, performing, putting together.
Yeah.
But and I hate to keep coming back to Still Weeping BB. I keep coming back to it because I just listened to it 10 minutes ago. But but like that to me is, you know, when you think of you are a DC indie rock band.
Right.
But that song could fit like 2-3 different genres, no?
Mm-hmm. I don't know, what would you say it is? It's like, I'm just trying to like, it's just trying to like.
This might be on Tyler. This
like,
might be an unpopular opinion, man. That could even be pop. That's something I would not be surprised hearing on 106.1 BLI on Long Island.
But I think it's pop. Like, I know a lot of like indie rock traditionalists are kind of averse to pop music. You know, it's not cool or it's beneath them or whatever, but I'm not like that at all. I love pop music. I'm just like, the kind of thing that comes naturally is more usually indie rock kind of a vibe, but yeah, I have no beef. Beef with country music. Everything has like a place.
I always appreciated that about you, from even being from really. I mean, well, where's the Mason-Dixon line?
I don't know.
I don't know if you're south of it, but I always think of like it's cool that you have like you're born there. So if you wanted to dial into country roots, like you could.
Yeah.
So it gives you a nice little wiggle.
Right. Yeah.
So,
But
Ty, talk to. So, I think if we're trying to understand where you're coming from and how you got into your music, how you keep getting better at your music, I feel like it's important to dial back to the beginning. And of course, as kids, when you would come and hang out here on Long Island or something, I always thought of you as this is like the Bulls kid.
yeah.
This is the '90s Bulls kid. This is the kid who likes cool music. That to me was like always some of the sticking points. But so how you start getting into music at somewhat of a young age, no?
Yeah. I mean, I took piano lessons. I did all that kind of stuff. But really, I was like a basketball guy, right, at the beginning
Right.
of it all. And then I was, I was decent for a 6 foot white dude. I maxed my jeans out, but
Did as much as you could with them.
yeah. And then in ninth grade, I got really sick, right? And then I got diagnosed with cystic fibrosis, so I couldn't really play basketball anymore. And I ended up getting pretty sick, and so I got Make-A-Wish. I'm like a Make-A-Wish kid, like the kids at Johnson. Yeah. And so I got Make-A-Wish, and I asked for a guitar and like a little recording setup, and that's kind of when I got started. And I was like 16. I had taken piano lessons, but it kind of faded the background. So then I started kind of playing guitar, and I was sick for my 11th and 12th grade year. So it ended up being like I had a lot of downtime, and I was just recording the weepiest shit. just two chords strumming and basically crying, right? So started
It was tears into the mic.
Yeah, exactly. And so started there, and then I've always been in bands with like my Tommy who's in the video. We throughout college I'd come home on the weekends and stuff, but it was harder to get your music on platforms.
Right.
Ago, right? Now
Yeah.
20 minutes to upload, and I'm on Spotify. We're on anything you would stream from. But it wasn't that easy 5-6 years ago. And so we're on like Bandcamp and SoundCloud, and annoying to ask people to get an account to listen to us because the music sucked ass anyway. So it was like for them to like have to go through all that, it's like I wouldn't make them do it. You know what I mean?
I think, and this is not a musical element that you would maybe necessarily bond with, but watch this Garth Brooks. Like, he's that guy. First off, this is a hot take. Garth Brooks, megalomaniac. Mm-hmm. I mean, man, that Garth Brooks loves himself some Garth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I appreciate he had a Netflix. This is how you know, by the way, that you're big. His Netflix docuseries was like, I felt like it was like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't get 20 minutes on me.
Yeah.
But like what I appreciated, he had so many good. What's that, Ty?
My Netflix documentary would be 3 minutes long.
With ads.
Yeah.
But I what I appreciate, like he had like so many good one-liners, but he also, in different situation from you, but he would say a lot in terms of some of the adversity he faced like early on in his career. Your thing is even more extreme in that like sometimes your biggest curse in some really fucked up kind of way ends up guiding you to a place that is sort of your destiny. And so, I mean, I don't know if it's an extreme jump, but is it safe to say you might not have found your musical voice without some of the hardships that led you to music?
Yeah. No, it's good. It's a good insight. It's probably most musicians, some shit went right. It's hard to sing like everything went perfectly and my parents loved and supported me. You know, it's not like a really compelling song.
Where are you going to go with that?
Yeah. No, it's like, I think having CF put me at an advantage in a lot of ways because, you know, you, me, everyone we know are going to die, but you're not really made aware of that fact till you get older, right? Mm-hmm. Your child is, you're kind of sheltered from that. And so at 16, I was, you know, on dialysis. I had to kind of confront death early. And that, in a way, I think made me be like, fuck, dude, I can't just clock in, clock out and die. Like I have to leave something behind, and it has to be meaningful. and like, I don't know, I think, yeah, it just tuned me into what was really going on and made me like infinitely aware that like, oh, this shit's gonna end and it's probably gonna end poorly, so get some.
That's a powerful thing to go through at a young age.
Yeah.
Like you and I remember, like, again, when and for those of you who don't know, I mean, we would see each other maybe twice, maybe every 2 or 3 years kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we'd always pick up right where we left off, which I always appreciated. But I always, obviously, when you were going through that, and I think there had been like a few years since we got to see you. I think maybe my mom went and visited when you were really going through it. But I just remember kind of seeing you those times after, and you had this energy of, you can't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You just can't. You don't have the time nor the patience to do the things that don't fulfill some of the stuff you're trying to leave.
Right. Well, it's more like, I mean, I definitely give the most fucks, but it's like, I think I'm in tune with like, okay, this is, I need to, yeah, it was, for me, it was like, okay, maybe I'm sick, can't have kids. Like maybe I need, this music thing is going to be the thing to leave behind, right? There's not
Right.
like, I'm a blip, and so I think the music originally was that, but now it's just like something I do for me. Like it keeps me from going out every night, keeps me like, mentally healthy. It's an avenue to express some things that I can't express by going to the gym, like, or whatever other mental health path you take. So I think it's kind of come around from being like well, now this shit's just fun and I love it.
And it's so interesting because it kind of started out sort of connected to or as a result of sickness.
Yeah.
And then it has nurtured over time, even as you've continued to, like, kind of climb up some mountains, right? And get to, checkpoint after checkpoint after checkpoint. How has things, do you feel like your music has sort of shifted from some of that, like you said, the earlier weepier stuff? Is it deeper now? Is it more fun? Is it more eclectic? How do you see kind of the pivot in your voice, in your music?
I think two things. I'm more conscious of like what direction I want to go with songs. Before it was just kind of this happenstance, like the song happened. I don't really, and I haven't done shit, right? Like I've wrote some songs. Like I'm not, I always feel like it's weird, like on a podcast, like who the fuck am I? So let me put that out there. I don't think, I've wrote some songs. Some of them are pretty good. Some of them are not, but most of them are not really. But so now it's just like, I do think about it kind of like a pop artist in that one slow song kind of, on this vibe. Then I want to hit like I wrote that song Look Ma for my mom. Like I was trying to do part by Kanye on that.
It's a beautiful song.
It shifted vocals and soulful, more deeper diaphragm singing than just like talking, which I usually do.
Mm-hmm. Look Ma is an interesting track that has a lot of you in it. I mean, that's the story, you know what I mean? But I love how it's got, even when they're, you're getting to the elements of the darker stuff, there is a weird there's some sort of uplifting factor to that song. No, is that the goal there?
That's good, man. That's good. Yeah, it's supposed to be like,
I'm good, man.
Yeah, you're good. You're good, Siege. Like I think, I get pigeonholed as being like the sad guy, but it's really like that's a triumphant song, like it ends on a high. All the stuff, like the new record I'm working on, it starts from a low, ends on a high, kind of working through a cycle of like,
that's cool,
acceptance, right? So it's the same story. It's, something bad happens, you accept it, you try to lean in. By leaning in, you overcome it or begin to overcome it. It's the same. That's what everybody's writing about.
So what does Aqua Teen Hunger Force, how does that make its way into your story, into you sort of really trying to craft this, I don't even want to say career, but craft this life as a musician who enjoys making music?
Yeah.
Where's that come into the mix?
Shit, our parents are going to see this, but so That's a very pointed question that we
I'm not
have
showing. I'm not showing mine.
talked about before, so that's good that you picked up on that. But basically, you know, for a while after I was diagnosed at 16. I was just like high and sad, right? Just really like high all the time and dealing with it and this one night, basically, I don't know, maybe I'm 19, I can't remember. I'm like super high and I'm with a girl and we're at her house and her brother comes home and her brother is a drug addict, like scary, right?
Oh.
And he stole something from him. So he's like, I was like convinced I was gonna die. I was also very stoned at this time. So I was like, oh my God, this guy's gonna kill me.
This is a
So
violent sort of scenario.
yeah, he thought I stole something from him. I'd never seen this guy in my life. No clue who this guy was. But so I'm leaving, right? And I get in my car and I'm way too stoned to drive. Like, and so I'm literally crying and like beg. I'm having that like kind of Helm's Deep, Lord of the Rings moment, like all lost, right? And I'm crying. I'm in the car, right? And I'm like, God, if you get me home, I'll stop being a piece of shit. I'll stop like, you know, like just having one of those moments.
Praying to
right?
the Almighty. That's all you can do in that sense, right? When you're in that spot, man.
And he got me home. I was okay. And kind of shortly thereafter, I stopped fucking around so much. Got on my shit. Got school right. Kind of, you know, stopped feeling sorry for myself.
And this is the best part of, to me, what you've been able to do is, you know, you've ventured through the darker waves, right? The darker elements, but then
Dark.
you know, but then I also remind myself this. I mean, this is a guy. I'm going to sound like Chris Collinsworth. This is a guy who has done, you know, went over to Oxford. This is a guy who has done law school. I mean, who knows not only the craft of music, but like also understands our law. So, to me,
Yeah.
but there must have been a flip.
Yeah. It was that. It was just, I also kind of around that time started taking care of a kid who had muscular dystrophy, and his name was Glenn. And so muscular dystrophy is way worse than anything I've been through. He was in a wheelchair. He was 300 pounds because he couldn't, you know, I had to do everything for him, feed him, you know, like was just like hang out with him, and him being so, just so insanely positive was like, dude, this kid
Wow.
has never had a normal day in his life. Like, I'm a bitch, right? Like I'm a bitch. And so it was just the same perspective plus the like like overly stoned moment, kind of all these events converging at once. I was like, all right, dude, stop feeling sorry for yourself and like see what, you know, shit is going to be what it is. Like, might as well throw your cards on the table.
I just, as you said that, I've got a shirt design I'm working on, your face, and just I'm a B below it. Would you wear that, Ty? Would
Yeah.
you mind wearing that? Okay, great, thanks. We'll split the profits 80-20 too.
That's beautiful.
Boy, that is some school of hard knocks. How do I get myself more positive? And it's always a little bit, you know, you got to look around. You got to say, well, if that person can do it.
Yeah. Well, and it's not, you can't go so like I'm going to start from here and go all the way up here. It's like, just do something that either doesn't make your life worse or even better than that, something that makes your life 2% better. And again, I hate giving advice, but you know.
No, I always, I've had, you're not the first one to accidentally give advice. I think I keep doing it on this thing, and I got to remind myself, I don't know Jack, man. But I always think there is always little crumbs that we can leave on this platform where people are like, oh, that guy thinks about that in a funny way. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got to give me something from Oxford.
Okay. Well, the grading system is crazy. So put it this way, and they rip you to shreds. You meet with your professor once a week, and she gives you a reading list, and it's just like, write on this topic, right? And then you meet her at Starbucks or whatever the next week and you've written a 10-page paper on it and they tear you to shreds. Know this at first. Like I was like used to getting, you know, decent grades, A's and B's, and I got a 13 on the first paper.
Out of 100?
And
what's wrong with you?
Well, I thought it was out of 100. It's out of like 70. A 70 above, I think, gets published, or is it 80 and above? I can't remember, but it's
not great.
It's metric or whatever the fuck, you know.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I got a 13, and it just said bad, and I was
get the hell out of here! You're totally messing with me. This British professor just wrote bad on there. Oh, it's fantastic.
It was, the whole thing was super. It was super humbling because like I'm fucking dumb, dude.
Was this your first like assignment?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's like the best way to start your whole venture.
Mom, I'm dumb as fuck.
I'm stuck in Britain, and I'm the dumbest human on the island.
Yeah. And it was a lot of that.
Us like Americans have no right going over there.
Well,
I mean, those British are gonna run. They're gonna run loops around us with humor, with soccer, with just general knowledge.
Well, it's just like a different. You really realize we're from humble beginnings, right? Like they're preparing for this shit since they're in like first.
Yeah. Yeah, it's boarding schools over there. It's, you know 3 languages generally by the time you're like 20. We don't know. Neither of us know English yet.
It actually reminded me. So when I was in law school, we played Harvard, right? In the basketball tournament.
Get out.
Yeah, and it was just like a law school basketball tournament, and so I had torn my cornea at the time, right? So I'm already like this middle class ass dude going to play Harvard, and I have a torn cornea, so I have to wear fucking goggles.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
And then like it's all law students, and it's law students like are not in shape. You gain a lot of
right.
And we look at their team, and everyone is like 6'7", right? I'm like, what the fuck is it? Like, how is this? Lowly Maine law, right? Like, and I'm goggles. I'm like, this one's for the middle class. This one's for the middle class.
While you're like, your cornea's hanging out?
Yeah. While I'm wearing goggles. It's tough. And they bust people in. They like one of the dudes that was on the bench that was 5'3" was actually on the team, and they had brought people in, and we lost by 4. I got dunked on 3 times, and I was like, that is like literally the American class system, like in action. They bust people in. My
it's so bad.
Are like ripped to shreds. I have to wear goggles.
I love the idea of someone dunking on you. You've got the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar goggles on, like their butt's probably in your face when they're dunking on you. It's a whole mess, and you've like lost by a lot.
Yeah,
a nice visual. So Ty, talk to me, and then we'll get you out of here. But talk to me about a little bit about some of the influence. So and you know, of course. I like to dabble in like the classic rock world, just from like a listener's perspective. And I know you kind of veer more the other way, which I obviously totally respect. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But I always felt like you kind of understood. I mean, just being like another musician, like you understood and appreciated the guys like Clapton, Tom Petty.
You're such a dad.
I'm such dad rock.
Yeah.
I make fun of myself for it.
And my mom sends me videos on Facebook all the time of Eric Clapton like shredding for 14 minutes. It's like, yeah, she's like, just do this. It's like, yeah, I'm not Eric Clapton. Like,
how does that not get you going though?
Because it's just like he's done that. I'm not interested in that. That territory's been tread over, and he's way more talented and done it way better than I have. Right? Like, I'm trying to mix in a new way or do something. You know, like I don't know. He's just done it better. You know.
But I only bring that up not to get made fun of for my dad rock love, but because I first off again, and sorry again for the scheduling mishap that we had last week.
All good, bachelor.
Thank you. But glad to get you back on, and glad to get you scheduled today. But it was funny because what made me like, oh, I gotta reach out to Tyler again, What made me do that, Ty, was when Eddie Van Halen died.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to act like I knew the guy.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to act like I saw them like when they were like dying, you know, when they were like sort of like near the end of like their whole like reunion tour.
Mm-hmm.
But there was something that struck me just from a music thing. And I was like, I know Tyler doesn't care about Eddie Van Halen, but I'd like to reach out to Tyler.
It's not that I don't. It's just like, anyway, so I like The Cure. I'm influenced by the 1975, Tame Impala, every 90s one-hit wonder. And I'm trying to, the new album I have, I don't know what I'm calling it yet. I'm thinking Suffering and Acceptance, because that's kind of the theme I've been on right now. But I'm going to try to do a little bit of each, right? Like I want to have pockets of each and kind of hit like 3 or 4 different genres, hopefully, and kind of give it like, I'm going to put my soul into this shit for the next 2 months.
What was,
and then I can just like be a good year of music for me and feel good, because I haven't actually done an album. It's all been like EPs, which are like 3 songs, 4 songs each. So
I like that. Oh man, I'd rather consume music in an EP.
yeah.
So you're not going to name the album Blue Suede Shoes or whatever it was the other name that you recommended to me?
The other name was called Saudade, which is like a Portuguese.
I totally thought you wrote suede.
Yeah, I don't know enough Portuguese. It's just like I learned a little bit for a while, and I don't know enough, so it's like, I probably won't do that. I'll just do Suffering and Acceptance, because it's kind of, you know, what I want people to take away from it, from my music, is that concept is kind of found throughout every major religion. It's kind of like a unifying thing, is how you get through anything is just leaning in, right? You got to lean in, you confront the dragon, you get the gold, kind of thing.
Did you get your shirt yet?
Yeah, I'm working on it. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. So Ty, talk to me, and I don't know how far out with like at least your music you try to forecast and think like, okay, you know, probably in like a year, like, you know, maybe I'll have like 2 more EPs done, maybe closer to like a full album kind of thing. Where do you, and of course, and again, I hate to, and people who've been watching this since July know I love to bring it back to the Rona. But what do you think your music looks like 10 years?
10 years, I'll probably be retired. It's either, I think there's, you know, it looks, I don't know. It looks like.
It's a tough question, dude.
It's a tough question. I wasn't, yeah, it's like 10 years. If I'm still at this level, I probably will just go play it wholesome, right? I've made enough music at that point to feel like justified. And if it worked, that's dope. I'll be touring if that's a thing anymore. If not, if it didn't work, then I tried and I can live with myself, and that's all good. And then I'll just be wholesome, you know, fucking settle down, mow the lawn, whatever, you know.
We all got to do it at some point.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a late 30s thing for you, no?
It's when I don't know.
It's however life throws it at you, right?
Always open to it. I'll tell you that much.
So I love playing this game with people who come on this thing. I used to do this thing back in, I mean, this is cheesy, but when I was in student government, the way that we would break the ice at our meetings, I would have someone say, what was your favorite and what was your least favorite? And then we would pick a topic. With your music, is there something that you love about it? What's the addictive quality to it for you? And then tell me about what you hate. And I know you mentioned like doing like some marketing and promo stuff, probably one of your lesser favorite things, but talk to me about top, bottom.
Okay. I mean, I love crafting the song. I love kind of that feeling I get when I'm creating. But a lot of times I hate finishing the song. It's very hard to finish.
Interesting.
Like probably 60 that are 60% done. Who knows? There could be some good ones, but it's like this puzzle, and sometimes you can get the pieces to work the right way, and sometimes you can't. And sometimes you get them to work the right way, but you don't get them to work the right way, like optimally.
Sure.
Because that's like, as an artist, like, okay, with Still Weeping, I got 90% of the way of where I saw it in my head, and you just kind of keep going at it like that. And so that part is tough. That's probably the toughest part, because it's mostly dissatisfying. And it's your job as an artist to kind of like see, okay, I got 90% of where I thought I could with Still Weeping. Like, just, I'm talking in terms of how the song sounds.
Sure.
And so next time, get 91.
I like that. It's a leveling up kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So, and by the way, big fan of the show. One of my favorite people at @pineapple_tiger, Joel Chatham. I love this man. One of my best friends from college. Neat to see him. He's actually, I believe he's still down in Texas. I think Houston area. But Joel has asked a question in the engagement stream here. Do either of y'all listen to Megan Thee Stallion?
No.
I don't know who that is.
I know who it is. Sorry, man. No.
What do you think about Watermelon Sugar?
It's like it's very catchy, right? It's one of those songs that kind of sticks in after a while, and you hear it like at every barbecue you went to this summer.
Yes.
Big time barbecue jam. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it was. Joel, I will go onto Spotify after this show. I will listen to Meg the Stallion. That's my goal. Good God, I've got to break out of my Spotify comfort zone, because like, and Ty, I want to get your thoughts on Spotify in a moment before we get you out of here. But I love that Spotify knows me so well.
Yeah.
Like they, anytime you go through your playlist and at the bottom you've got the recommended stuff. Or when they were doing remember that end of 2019 shit that was like all over everybody's feeds?
Yeah.
I mean, my number one was Kygo, and then the rest was like, everyone's least favorite country musician, because they're my favorite country musician. So it was like, wow, you get that I do a little Kygo, I do a little Luke Bryan, I like me some Kenny Chesney, the Ches Daddy as we call him. So what are your thoughts on in general? You've got and like you said earlier, you've got YouTube Music, you've got Apple Music, you've obviously got the older ones like MySpace Music. What's the orange app? Then you've got Spotify, and obviously just like an old school YouTube channel. Are you finding that you have a platform that you prefer putting music onto, or a platform that you seem to find that fans are engaging with you, or fans are finding you naturally?
Yeah. I guess I like YouTube the best because I like the visual component. I think YouTube, I've been trying to do more music videos, and I like, a lot of music videos enhance the song experience. So, but I mean, if I can get anybody to listen to me, whatever app they wanted, I know, I'm supposed to hate Spotify because they don't pay out anything. But I mean, I'm just as much of a consumer as a producer, right? So, I love having everything at my fingertips, and it feels, you had CD sleeves, and like, way more convenient now, and I can get, listen to way more.
Peel back the curtain for us for a minute. What is a Spotify licensing revenue look like from a consumer perspective? Is it like 10 cents a song or something like that?
No, it's like fractions of a penny per play.
Good God.
So, it's like, if you're going to make not very much money. You don't really, yeah, I don't know how to put it like lightly. You don't make shit from Spotify, from any of these platforms.
Isn't it funny that the platforms that actually host your craft, your art, are essentially just like promotional material?
Yeah, for sure.
That's insane.
For sure, but I mean, it's also nice to be on the same app. Like, we can go listen to Meg the Stallion, but then we can also go listen to me. Then we can go listen to Cher, in the same. And it's nice to be on the same platform. So it's, it's not. I'm not glass half empty guy. It does suck. We can't figure out a way as musicians to get paid most of the time, especially now, right? Like even musicians that are paid are struggling, you know, because live stream events are cool, but it's not like being there. So
Right. No, we've very quickly have devalued music as a. I actually feel like we value music as a right way before we do healthcare as a right. You ever think about that? Like the thinking goes, I should be able to listen to all of Tyler Provenzano's craft anytime I want, anywhere I want, whether I'm on Wi-Fi or not, whether I'm paying or not. But I definitely have to pay a lot of money, like if I get a boo-boo.
yeah,
It's crazy what's going on with the world. Ty, before I get you out of here, what are you looking forward to? Is it the current EP? Is it kind of, I don't know, or even, I mean, post-pandemic kind of stuff? You making any plans for that? Or, you know, what life-wise is getting you going right now, making you excited about the future?
I think, well, two things. It's like hard to forecast the future, right? So I think the value of being present is even more so now. Isn't also speculative in the future. I'm excited. I'm going to put my soul into this record that I'm working on, and it'll feel good to get that done. And then everything else, you know, it's hard to project, but I'm optimistic. So
Wow, talk about a nice way to end this thing, man. Yo, every time, let me tell you something. Every time I've been on with poor Lou, poor Andrew, when I did the solo show where I was just ranting about, I think I was ranting about Donald Trump. I always felt like I ended on a sour note, and I'm like, all right, I'll see you later. So that was nice. That was actually that was cheery, Tyler. I appreciate that, man.
it's been fun. I love you,
dude. I love you too. I cannot thank you enough for being on. Everybody watching, please go to @oceans_in_heaven. We'll put the link in the bio. This man is the front man for the band. He's the soul of it, the heart of it. I love him. He's my cousin, Tyler Provenzano. Ty, and I guess we gotta get together soon, man.
Yeah.
We had that Miami thing planned in like the back of our heads, but you remember that shit?
Remember we kept saying, I got 2 words for you. My All right, man. I love you. I'll talk to you soon.
Love you, dude. I'll talk to you later. Get out of here. Oh, man. How great is that guy? Okay, so you know, we try to, and Joel made a great point in the chat. We got to get some. Tyler was fantastic. I love the man. Member of my family, member of the tribe. How cool is he? I mean, that was fun. His music is fantastic. Again, he's not going to make a lot of money off the Spotify, but go and listen to his stuff on Spotify. Go and check out @oceans_in_heaven. They've got some great stuff on their Instagram. Really, really fun follow.